back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to be talking about The Witcher. But before I get into it, please subscribe to the channel, ring the bell icon to be notified when I post new videos, and also hit the thumbs up button if you like this video, and please be sure to share with your friends. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get into it. Recently, I was looking at some of the news regarding The Witcher, and honestly, I'm not a huge fan of The Witcher series to a degree. I mean, when it comes to the show, yeah, it's kind of been hit or miss, but with all the news regarding Henry Cavill and playing Superman or not playing Superman, I really want to talk about my opinion on whether or not Henry Cavill really depicted the role of Witcher well. And personally, I think he did. When you play the game or you watch you read the books or you play the game, he definitely played the character well. But the issue is always going to be with the script. And from what I could tell, many fans believed that the entire series it definitely was not what they were hoping for, and I understand why. It's not exactly like the books. Personally, I actually enjoyed the second season of The Witcher, mostly because not because of the fact that it was I don't know. The main reason I enjoyed the second season was because it was cohesive. The story more reflected the game to a degree, but it had a lot of elements from the books as well. But granted, I understand that it was mostly primarily focused on Ciri, and I don't like the fact that you know, they pushed Henry Cavill to the side a bit too much. I understand what they were trying to do. It's what they do with a lot of these shows and movies recently. But when it comes to the entirety of the show, I didn't like the first season for one reason. It's because of the fact that it was kind of like an anthology series where every episode kind of jumped here and like to and fro, and it was not cohesive story wise. I mean, you have to actually pay attention to every element of it, every element of the episode, if you want to, or you have to really actually know the book. I had to pick up the books after I watched the show because I wasn't a huge fan of The Witcher. So people can hate me in regards to my opinion, and that's fine. But when it comes to this show, I'm not a huge fan of witchcraft, sorcery, and things of that nature. It, I don't know, it makes my skin crawl generally. Wizards, warlocks, and all that. But I like medieval warfare, combat, and things of that nature. And Henry Cavill playing this role, it was a shock. I mean, I've seen him already in The Count of Monte Cristo and Immortals, Man of Steel, Batman v Superman. I mean, the list goes on. The Tudors, I've seen him in a whole lot of projects, a whole lot of movies and shows. I mean, the fact that they did not do well with this series, it astonishes me. I mean, it's astounding because of the fact that it didn't really take much. You have the source material available to you. Read the books, play the games, but apparently they really did not. From what I can tell, it seems that they didn't even want to actually capture the heart of these things, of these shows. I mean, of the books or the game or any of the games. Not the first one, not the second one, not the third one. It just they vaguely captured it, but not enough. And I understand why people are pissed. Personally, I don't care either way. I'm hoping that the next season is good, but ultimately, I kind of feel like some of this news regarding Henry Cavill and the show, I feel like some of it is so they can garner attention. It'd be interesting if the entire thing is a ploy and Henry Cavill's still going to be involved in some form or fashion, but if not, it's kind of still annoying. I feel like if they're not going to bring him back, just end the show. Be the best way to do it. Just finish it off and be done with it. Granted, I understand the other actors and actresses in the show, they would miss out on continuing to go forward, but I prefer that they would just end it if they're not going to honor it. I'm going to go ahead and open up this article that I was reading a few minutes ago, really. I was reading this article from Bounding into Comics. One second. Okay, so I'm Bounding into Comics. It shows here. Okay, article written by Spencer Bascoli. I hope I read that name. Bacoli. I really hope I read that name correctly. Anyway, and so it says Netflix's The Witcher showrunner Lauren Hissrich attempts to inspire confidence in the series following Henry Cavill's exit. In the wake of former series star Henry Cavill's exit from the Netflix series and his replacement by the Hunger Games star Liam Hemsworth, The Witcher showrunner Lauren Hissrich has set out to try and assure audiences that the continued adventures of Geralt are indeed worth tuning in for. I almost tuned out. Okay, so it says, okay, at first observed by Eurogamer's Victoria Kennedy during her various interviews throughout the recent December 3rd UK press day for the upcoming prequel series, The Witcher: Blood Origin, Hisrich did her best to convince those in attendance that The Witcher's loss of Cavill was nothing to worry about. Honestly, that is a big thing to worry about because of the fact that once you lose the lead role for any show, it usually brings down the whole thing, and it's honestly better that they just end it. They can go out on a high note or a low note, but at least it's better than trying to recast the role. If they wanted someone else, they should have just got Liam from the beginning. Anyway, speaking with IGN, it says, okay, the showrunner asserted that in the aftermath of Cavill's exit, what I'm excited about is allowing this franchise to continue growing, and that we get new energy and chemistry that we haven't discovered yet. And to me, that's part of the fun of television. You don't know where exactly the adventure is going to end. She forget it. I'm just not even going to say the word. Added, given that the ending of Geralt's specific adventure was already laid out in on I'm not even going to try to say the name. Sapkowski's. I'm just going to say Sapkowski's original novels. So it's something I'm really excited about. Okay, I understand. Any writer, honestly, would usually be excited about writing for a show. It's a great opportunity, and the fact that they're supposed to be honoring the original novels, and the fact that they have not, does not give me a lot of hope. And I want to enjoy this show, and many people should if they really enjoy these type of shows. Personally, it seems at this point in time, I'd prefer people would just, you know, write something original, strive to do something new. Personally, I wish that they would have more elements that were, I don't know, something more biblical to a degree. I'm Christian, so it's always going to be something on my mind. But ultimately, I do prefer that they capture the essence of the games and the original story. And of course, they need to be original because of the fact that why would they write for this show to begin with unless they were trying to actually capture their own personal ideas? But they do have to be close. They have to still remain as close as possible to the source material. I mean, it's there for a reason. Otherwise, why bother adapting something like this? And so it continues. I will stay. Yeah. I will say that change is also energy. She similar. she. She similarly explained to Decider, change also brings about different energy. So to us, that's just part of contributing to roll forward into this franchise. Oh, just part of continuing, not contributing. My brain. Anyway, providing Collider with a similarly brief answer when asked about the series' upcoming shooting schedule, Hisrich told the outlet, "Honestly, I'm really excited for Witcher Season 4. I think it's going to be fantastic." They still haven't even released Season 3. That makes me a little weary about, or I don't know, when it comes to these type of things, it's very difficult to say. It could be that Season 3 may actually be the better season out of all three of them, and even better than the fourth season, because Henry Cavill likes to maintain the source material as much as possible. And if these people do not like anything about the original books or the games, and they don't even want to talk about Season 3, I don't know, it kind of leaves me wondering, what if they actually do good? Like, what if the show, the third season, which to me is going to be the final season, what if they actually do good with this season? Because, like, going out, like, I feel like they need to use this to end on a high note. And once this show, like, if the third season's good, then just end it there, because that's really the best they could hope for. Anyway, I'm going to continue. It says, I can't wait to get started, said the showrunner. We're not there just right now, so I just really want to keep the focus on Blood Origin and all of this amazing work. So it's very clear they want to focus on their own personal ideas, separate from the books and the games and all of that. I mean, I don't know. I haven't read all the books. I haven't read everything. I'm not sure if I'm contradicting myself or not at this point. But the fact is, I haven't read all the books. I've only read, I think, the first, like two of them. But like I said, I'm not a huge fan. I like the show to a degree. There are elements that I enjoyed. The best part still is Henry Cavill, but also I enjoyed Jaskier. I like the fact that they gave him an actual name other than Dandelion. It was kind of weird. I'm glad they actually used the name. I mean, I think it's in the books too. I didn't pay a lot of attention to the books. It wasn't something that I liked either. I prefer I like fantasy books. I prefer things like Lord of the Rings and extended books that Tolkien wrote, the Hobbit and everything. Anyway, I'm kind of getting on. I'm kind of going on a tangent here. Okay, so it says here, asked by Tech Radar for her thoughts on the backlash to Cavill's departure, much of which based on the fan belief that or the series' mistreatment of the source material drove the actor away. Histrich claimed, "It's a big deal for us too." Huh. Honestly, I can't really. I don't understand what's going on there. Anyway, I'm gonna keep going. Okay, it says, and that's the okay. Seriously, and that's the thing. There's a lot of talk and rumors about. There's a lot of talk and rumors about, and we fully understand why fans are going there. She continued, "What will I say to fans? Oh, no, sorry. What I will say to fans is please come back for The Witcher Season 3 so that we can continue to do this," implored Hisrich. Obviously, Cavill's exit is huge news, but what I don't want to do is this. And what I don't want to do is this has to stay about blood. Why does it have to stay about Blood Origin? Like, were they invited just to talk about Blood Origin? Did I miss something? Uh, you can point out in the comments if I missed anything. But anyway, it's very odd. Continues later that same day in response to her sharing of the premiere trailer for Blood Origin to her personal Instagram account, Hisrich would face further criticism over her handling of the show. Okay. In turn, Hisrich would seemingly attempt to extend olive branches to a number of her critics, all the while attempting to court some level of optimism among them towards the upcoming post-Cavill era of The Witcher. I'm not gonna play the trailer, but okay, so it continues. You know, I get that you may be a fan of everything, a fan in everything, but that doesn't really justify, or that doesn't justify the fact that you have turned this show into something very different and worse, according to most people, from what we all liked from the books. Wrote user at Gwynbleth underscore or at underscore Gwynbleth underscore. Okay. I totally hear you if you don't like it, replied the showrunner. There are lots of people who did, though. Literally millions and millions of them. Are they lesser fans? She then asked. Or do they just like different things? Or maybe there's room for many different versions of these stories. I hope so. But I understand if you're disappointed. Wishing you the best. So this is what the tweet was. Okay, I I actually agree to a degree with both of these people. It's hard to say. I prefer that they honor the original IP, but I also agree that there can be multiple versions of a story. So it's hard to say really. Oh wow, my voice finally cleared up. Okay, so it says it is true that you see yourselves among the source material, included here, Kierkegaardian. To be honest, this show had much higher potential, It could have been the next Lord of the Rings killer, but you and your directive team just made it into a generic fantasy show. Huh, said a confused Hisrich. Above the source material? Never. Okay. That's a bit odd. Okay. So it continues. Extending the showrunner the same courtesy she was showing fans, at true_Sith asked, I'm not attacking you at all, but I want to know exactly what caused Henry to leave, as he initially said he would be on board for 7 seasons. Okay, so it continues. We all have much to discuss when season 3 rolls around, exclaimed Hisrich, sidestepping the question. For now, I want to keep things focused on Blood Origin, because people worked their asses off to bring this to life. They deserve some time in the spotlight. I guess. I mean, I can't say anything about Blood Origin. The fact is, I haven't seen it and I haven't read the book. If there's a book on Blood Origin, this is entirely made up. It might be a little bit worse, actually. But, yeah, with Blood Origin, it's kind of hard to say. I'm not going to say anything about that series until it actually comes out. And so it says here, meanwhile, the third season of Witcher is currently on track to debut sometime in summer 2023. Okay then. Yeah. One moment. Okay. Now that that's done, it was definitely very strange to read that article, mainly because of the fact that when it comes to this show, I have my own opinions on the entire series. And honestly, there are things about it that I wish could have been included that were from the books. But right now, I can't really say too much about it, except that, personally, I feel like if they're going to adapt a series or adapt something that's already established to this level, you need to really capture it well. You can't just sidestep the entire origin, you can't sidestep the books. If there's already an established storyline, then you need to honor it as closely as possible. Otherwise, what's the point? Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and finish this video, but thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, ring the bell icon to be notified when I post new videos, and hit the thumbs up button if you like this video. Bye, and I'll see you next time.